In life, everyone goes through moments where their soul seems to awaken, realizing that things that once seemed important gradually lose their meaning. Imagine a moment when everything you've ever known starts to dissolve. The familiar patterns, daily routines, close relationships, all begin to feel strange and distant. It's as if the world around you is changing, but not in a way that's visible to the naked eye. The change is deeper, like a silent current of energy moving beneath the surface of your life. You can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but you can sense a transformation. Something big is taking shape. You are no longer the person you were yesterday, and you can't go back to being the person you once were. This is the beginning of your spiritual awakening, a journey of transformation that is both magical and terrifying. You begin to see through illusions, the false identities, the societal norms that once confined you. Gradually, you feel drawn towards something greater, something more authentic, more aligned with your true essence. But as you embark on this journey, you realize that in order to grow, you must be willing to let go. In this video, we will delve deeper into the 7 things that highly spiritual people often let go of on the path to awakening. You may recognize these things in your own life and feel the slow yet meaningful changes taking place. As you become aware of and begin to release what is no longer needed, you will find your life becoming more peaceful, your mind more free, and a sense of tranquility gradually taking root in your soul. Remember, spiritual awakening is not the final destination, but a long journey, and each step brings more growth and deeper understanding. If you feel this topic resonates with you, take the time to watch the entire video and explore the things you too may be letting go of. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any inspiring content on spirituality and personal growth in future videos. Number 1. Letting go of control. One of the clearest signs of spiritual growth is the ability to let go of control. For many, life is often tied to the need to manage and control everything. From work, relationships, and finances to their own future, people constantly feel the need to be in control to ensure that things go as planned. However, as we begin our spiritual awakening journey, we gradually realize that this effort is not only futile, but also a source of unnecessary stress and anxiety. Spiritually evolved individuals gradually let go of the desire to control everything in life. Instead of trying to micromanage every aspect of their existence, they learn to trust in the natural order and flow of the universe. They recognize that not everything in life is within human control, and often, excessive control can lead to unintended consequences. Spiritual awakening not only changes how we view the world, but also transforms how we react to challenges and difficulties. Those with heightened spiritual awareness approach life with more ease. They no longer feel the need to control every detail or excessively worry about the outcomes of future events. Instead, they accept that some things are unpredictable or beyond control, and attempting to do so only adds stress. Letting go of control does not mean surrendering entirely to fate, but rather understanding and trusting the natural workings of the universe. These individuals know that sometimes the best course of action is to let things unfold naturally and be adaptable to changes. This brings them spiritual freedom, allowing them to live in harmony with the flow of life instead of constantly fighting against it. A practical example of letting go of control is how spiritually evolved people approach the future. In the past, they might have worried excessively about things that hadn't happened yet: work, finances, health, or relationships. But as they awaken, they realize that worry cannot change the outcome, and it's more important to be present in the current moment. They accept that some things are beyond their reach, and rather than trying to predict or control outcomes, they choose to adapt and remain flexible no matter what happens. This calm acceptance helps them avoid being caught in the whirlwind of anxiety or fear about the future. Another example is in relationships. Before spiritual awakening, a person might feel the need to control those around them, ensuring that they behave in a way that aligns with their desires. However, as their spiritual awareness develops, they gradually realize that everyone has their own journey, and no one has the right to control or impose on others. This not only makes relationships more relaxed, but also creates an environment that nurtures respect and unconditional love. Letting go of control is a powerful step on the spiritual growth path. By learning to trust the laws of the universe, you not only free yourself from pressure, but also create space to welcome the unexpected and wonderful things that life has to offer. Spiritually evolved individuals understand that life is a continuous flow of transformation, and instead of trying to control it, they choose to learn and grow through each experience, each rise and fall. Ultimately, letting go of control is an act of faith. Faith in yourself, faith in the universe, and in the deep connection that we all share. When we let go, we not only find peace, but also open the door to deeper and more meaningful experiences in life. Number 2, letting go of the ego. One of the most important steps in the spiritual growth journey is letting go of the ego. The ego, or self-identity, is the part of us that constantly seeks control, recognition, and validation from others. It often drives us to act out of personal pride, status, and self-worth. However, as a person begins the process of spiritual awakening, they realize that the ego is merely a temporary facade, not their true essence. Letting go of the ego doesn't mean completely erasing one's individuality, but it means reducing the dependence on the need to prove self-worth by comparing oneself to others. Spiritually evolved individuals gradually stop acting based on ego-driven needs, such as vanity, pride, competition, or envy. Instead of striving to be superior to others or seeking validation, they choose to live with a sense of connection to everything and harmony with the world around them. This shift brings a deep sense of freedom. Without being governed by the ego, they no longer feel pressured to please others or prove themselves superior. Life becomes more peaceful as they live in alignment with their true nature, without needing to conform to societal standards or unnecessary comparisons. This leads to inner peace, a tranquility that arises from understanding that real value doesn't lie in the personal ego, but in the profound connection with all things in the universe. One of the clearest examples of letting go of the ego is how spiritually evolved people deal with success and failure. Before spiritual awakening, they might have been obsessed with achieving success, constantly chasing higher goals to prove themselves. Failure might have caused deep hurt and disappointment. However, as the ego is gradually released, they begin to see that success and failure are just small parts of the larger life experience, and they do not define their self-worth. They no longer feel the need to compete with others or measure their value by social standards. Instead, they find joy in the journey itself, not in the outcomes or the opinions of others. Letting go of the ego is also evident in relationships. Previously, the ego might have driven them to assert power, show off, or argue to win debates. But after spiritual growth, they learn to listen more and judge less. Relationships based on genuine interaction and deep understanding become more important than trying to dominate or prove superiority. They no longer feel the need to win or prove they are right, but instead seek true understanding and connection. A major benefit of letting go of the ego is the reduction of anxiety and stress. The ego often pushes us to worry about how others perceive us or whether we are living up to societal expectations. When the ego is released, spiritually evolved individuals feel less pressure and begin to live in ways that bring them real peace and happiness, unaffected by external expectations or standards. Ultimately, letting go of the ego allows us to access a higher state of consciousness, where our true nature is no longer obscured by the ego. When the ego is set aside, we not only feel a deeper connection with ourselves, but also with everyone and everything around us. We realize that everything is interconnected in a larger system far greater than any individual, and this awareness brings us freedom, peace, and lasting happiness. Number 3. Letting go of toxic relationships. As one embarks on the journey of spiritual awakening, they begin to gain deeper insight into every aspect of life, including the relationships surrounding them. Letting go of toxic relationships is an essential and unavoidable step on the path to spiritual growth. These relationships not only drain energy, but also hinder personal development. Therefore, letting go is necessary to create space for more positive and meaningful things to enter. A toxic relationship occurs when the interactions between two people cause stress, negativity, or suffering instead of providing support, peace, and personal growth. In such relationships, one may feel held back, unheard, or even controlled. During spiritual awakening, people realize that the energy we absorb from those around us greatly affects our mental and spiritual state. Thus, they understand that maintaining negative relationships will only hold them back and slow their spiritual evolution. Letting go of toxic relationships is not an easy decision. In many cases, these relationships may have lasted for a long time, intertwined with many memories and emotions. However, as one gains a clearer understanding of their true nature and the importance of protecting their personal energy, they realize that not all relationships are worth keeping. If a relationship continuously brings stress, drains energy, or no longer aligns with their personal growth, then letting go becomes necessary to move forward. A real-life example of letting go of toxic relationships is when a spiritually awakened person realizes they no longer want to keep relationships that are negative or abusive. This could be a friend who constantly complains, criticizes, or even tries to control their life. Before awakening, they may have accepted or tolerated these behaviors to avoid breaking the relationship. However, after beginning the spiritual awakening process, they recognize that keeping negative people in their life will only hinder their progress. Spiritually evolved individuals gradually learn to prioritize inner peace and happiness over maintaining superficial relationships. They realize that a healthy relationship isn't always easy, but it should be a space where both sides support and encourage each other's growth. Toxic relationships, on the other hand, only pull people down and hold back personal development. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning love or forgiveness. Rather, it's a choice to protect oneself and keep their energy clean and positive. During this process, spiritually evolved individuals also come to understand that not everyone can or is willing to grow with them, and that's completely okay. Everyone has their own journey, and sometimes the best thing to do is to let go and allow both sides the freedom to grow in their own ways. This doesn't mean they no longer care or love, but that they have achieved a deeper understanding that personal and spiritual growth is more important than holding onto a relationship that no longer serves them. Letting go of toxic relationships also brings a great sense of mental liberation. No longer bound by negative ties, spiritually awakened individuals will feel a sense of freedom in their soul, opening up space for new, positive, and healthier relationships to form. They will feel lighter, and peace will gradually replace the stress caused by old relationships. Ultimately, letting go of toxic relationships is not just about clearing out personal space, but it's also a way to honor oneself and their spiritual journey. They understand that spiritual growth cannot occur if they continue to hold on to relationships that drain their energy. And while letting go may be difficult at first, it is essential to move toward a life filled with meaning, peace, and harmony with oneself and the universe. Number 4, letting go of material attachments. As one progresses on the spiritual path, they begin to realize that the pursuit of material possessions does not bring true happiness. In modern society, we are often caught up in a consumerist lifestyle, believing that owning more wealth and assets will bring us joy and a sense of success. However, those with a higher level of spiritual awareness gradually understand that material things are temporary and cannot provide lasting fulfillment. They start shifting their focus from accumulating possessions to seeking inner value, and from there, they let go of attachments to external things. Letting go of material attachments does not mean giving up all possessions or living in poverty, but rather reducing one's dependence on and emotional attachment to material things. Spiritually evolved individuals understand that true happiness comes from inner peace, spiritual experiences, meaningful relationships, and connection with oneself and the world around them. Material objects are merely tools, not the ultimate goal. Spiritual awakening helps them find joy in a simpler life, free from the need to acquire more to feel complete. Instead of chasing flashy material things, they redirect their focus to spiritual values such as gratitude, contentment, and inner peace. This shift is crucial in spiritual development, as one begins to realize that true value is not found outside but within themselves. A concrete example of letting go of material attachments is when a spiritually aware person adopts a minimalist lifestyle. They no longer feel the need to own many belongings or keep up with the latest consumer trends. Instead, they learn to appreciate what they have and only keep things that are truly necessary and hold spiritual value. Minimalism not only reduces stress, but also creates space to focus on what truly matters: peace, happiness, and a deeper connection with oneself. Letting go of material attachments also helps spiritually aware individuals avoid unnecessary worry and stress related to owning and maintaining possessions. They are no longer obsessed with achieving material success, such as owning a house, a car, or expensive items to prove their worth. Instead of chasing fleeting things, they spend more time nurturing their inner growth, focusing on genuine relationships and having meaningful life experiences. Letting go of material attachments also involves changing one's perception of personal value. Spiritually aware, people gradually realize that their worth does not depend on what they own, but on who they become, their spiritual connection with the world, and their contributions to life. They no longer feel pressured to compete for material success, but learn to appreciate and value small, simple things that bring long-lasting joy and satisfaction. One positive outcome of letting go of material attachments is the sense of freedom it brings. Free from the race of consumerism, spiritually evolved individuals feel lighter, and can dedicate their energy to what truly matters: spiritual growth, self-discovery, and living in peace. They are no longer obsessed with acquiring more, but instead find contentment in what they already have, appreciating the value of the present moment. Ultimately, letting go of material attachments is an important step in spiritual growth, freeing individuals from unnecessary burdens and leading to true inner peace. When no longer driven by material needs, spiritually aware individuals experience a state of freedom, happiness, and a deeper connection to life. They understand that happiness does not come from having more, but from knowing what is enough, appreciating spiritual values, and living a meaningful life. Number 5, letting go of fear and worry. One of the most significant turning points on the spiritual path is letting go of the fears and worries that often dominate daily life. Spiritually awakened individuals gradually realize that fear and anxiety about the future, life's uncertainties, and even the fear of death are barriers to living a peaceful and meaningful life. Shifting from a mindset of anxiety to one of acceptance and trust in the natural flow of the universe is a profound process, helping them release energy and live a more fulfilled life. Fear and worry often stem from uncertainty and the desire for control. We worry about the future because we don't know what will happen, and as a result, we try to control every aspect of life. However, spiritually evolved individuals understand that life is a constant, ever-changing flow that cannot be fully predicted. Instead of trying to control everything, they learn to accept what comes and trust that every event in life happens for a reason and brings important lessons. Letting go of worry does not mean ignoring life's problems entirely, but rather changing the perspective on them. Spiritually aware individuals no longer allow worry to dictate their emotions and actions. Instead of stressing over things beyond their control, they focus on the present moment and what they can do now to make a difference. By living fully in the present, they no longer let future uncertainties affect their inner peace and joy. One of the greatest fears people often face is the fear of death. We tend to worry about loss, the inevitable end, and what will happen after we're gone. However, spiritually awakened individuals gradually release this fear by gaining a deeper understanding of the nature of life and death. They realize that death is not the end, but a part of the natural cycle. With this understanding, they no longer see death as something to be feared, but as a transition in the soul's journey. This brings them a sense of peace and acceptance. A practical example of letting go of worry is when a spiritually aware person no longer lets the small, daily worries control them. In the past, they may have worried about everything from work, finances, and relationships to the future. But after a spiritual awakening, they understand that each moment has its own value and that worrying changes nothing but drains their mental energy. Instead of worrying, they choose to live positively and face every challenge with calm, believing that each difficulty is an opportunity to learn and grow. Letting go of worry also means learning to release unrealistic expectations. In life, we often create pressure for ourselves by setting goals too high, then worrying when we can't achieve them. But spiritually aware individuals gradually realize that life doesn't always go according to plan. They let go of tight control and allow themselves to be flexible in the face of change, accepting that sometimes unexpected events can bring new opportunities. Faith in the universe's design is a key element that helps these individuals overcome worry. They believe that every event in life happens for a reason, whether it brings joy or sorrow, success or failure. From a spiritual perspective, they understand that life is a meaningful journey and that every experience, good or bad, plays a role in their growth. Thanks to this belief, they no longer fear the future or the unknown, but instead, they live with gratitude and complete trust in the natural flow of life. Ultimately, letting go of fear and worry not only helps spiritually awakened individuals feel more free and light, but it also brings peace and balance to their daily lives. They are no longer haunted by what hasn't happened yet or by uncertainties beyond their control, but instead, they focus on being fully present in the moment. As a result, they can enjoy life with peace, acceptance, and a deep understanding of the nature of the universe and themselves. Number 6. Letting go of judgment. On the spiritual journey, letting go of judgment is an important and challenging step. Spiritually aware, individuals gradually realize that judgment brings no positive value, but instead creates division, tension, and negative feelings. Judgment often stems from the ego and the tendency to compare, distinguish, or place oneself above others. But when spiritually awakened, they understand that everyone has their own unique path and no one is perfect, including themselves. Letting go of judgment is not just about stopping criticism of others. It's also about learning to be more compassionate and forgiving toward oneself. Spiritually awakened individuals recognize that they are human too, and making mistakes or having weaknesses is inevitable. Instead of blaming themselves or creating unnecessary pressure, they fully accept who they are, learn from their mistakes, and continue to grow without feeling guilty or casting blame. This helps them free themselves from negative emotions and live a more peaceful life. Judgment also occurs when we impose our personal views on others, assuming our perspective is correct and that those who disagree or are different are wrong. However, spiritually aware individuals understand that everyone has their own perspectives and ways of living, and no single way is entirely right. They no longer feel the need to distinguish or evaluate others based on their own standards. Instead, they accept diversity and differences in viewpoints, beliefs, and lifestyles. This creates a safe space where respect and love can flourish, instead of judgment and criticism. A specific example of letting go of judgment is when a spiritually awakened person encounters someone with a lifestyle or beliefs that are opposite to their own. Instead of criticizing or condemning, they seek to understand the experiences and circumstances that shaped the other person's views. They do not try to change or impose their own opinions, but respect the other person's path and choices, even when they are completely different from their own. Letting go of judgment not only helps maintain harmonious relationships with others, but it also brings inner peace. When they are no longer caught in the cycle of negative judgment, they can live an open life filled with compassion. This compassion is not just for those around them, but also for themselves, helping them feel lighter and freer in their soul. Ultimately, letting go of judgment is a clear sign of spiritual growth, as individuals gradually move beyond the selfish ego and replace it with understanding, compassion, and tolerance. This is a crucial step toward achieving balance and peace in life, while also fostering a loving and supportive community. Number 7. Letting go of the need for external validation. As your spiritual journey deepens, one of the greatest lessons you learn is to let go of the need for external validation. In modern society, people are often driven by the desire to be liked, acknowledged, and praised by others. However, spiritually aware individuals gradually understand that true validation can only come from within. Other people's opinions, whether positive or negative, merely reflect their own thoughts, emotions, and personal experiences. They do not define your true worth. On this path, you realize that your value does not depend on what others think or say about you, but stems from your own sense of self-worth. This means you no longer allow your emotions to be influenced by praise or criticism. You stop relying on others' approval to feel confident or accepted. Instead, you find peace and freedom within, from the deep understanding that your value cannot be altered by someone else's opinion. A clear sign of letting go of external validation is no longer worrying about pleasing everyone. Spiritually awakened people no longer stress about whether others understand or agree with them. They recognize that everyone is on their own journey, and no one can fully comprehend another's path. Rather than trying to be liked or approved by everyone, they embrace differences and respect each person's unique path. For example, in the past, you might have felt pressured to meet others' expectations, such as achieving success in your career, reaching goals that society deems important, or always presenting a perfect image. But as you awaken spiritually, you begin to realize that these expectations are merely external standards, and they do not necessarily determine your happiness. You let go of the need for that approval and shift your focus to what truly matters to you. Things that bring you peace and happiness from within. Letting go of the need for external validation is a profound liberation, freeing you from the cycle of seeking approval. You no longer worry about whether you're good enough in others' eyes, and instead you trust in your true worth. This allows you to live more authentically and freely, unbound by society's judgments or externally imposed expectations. Once you reach this inner peace, you become freer in your thoughts and actions. You no longer chase external standards or feel pressured by comparisons to others. Instead, you live a life that is genuine and meaningful, based on values you believe in. This is true spiritual liberation, helping you return to yourself and find happiness in the freedom of your soul. The spiritual growth journey is a profound and ongoing process. Along this path, spiritually aware individuals gradually let go of attachments that they once considered essential in life. Through the 7 lessons we've explored, it's clear that letting go is not about loss, but rather about liberation, releasing in order to achieve true freedom and inner peace. From relinquishing control to letting go of the ego, freeing oneself from toxic relationships and material attachments, each step brings a person closer to their true essence. Letting go of fear and worry helps them live in the present and find peace in the natural flow of life. They also learn to release judgment, becoming more understanding and compassionate toward themselves and others. Finally, letting go of the need for external validation allows them to find confidence and true worth within themselves, rather than depending on the approval or praise of others. A common thread throughout this process is the shift from relying on external factors to focusing on the inner world. As these external attachments are gradually released, spiritually awakened individuals become freer, no longer bound by things that do not truly serve their spiritual growth. They move toward peace and freedom within, living a more authentic and fulfilling life, unburdened by superficial or fleeting concerns. This is not an easy process, but the rewards of letting go are immense. It allows us to live a lighter, more carefree life, no longer weighed down by psychological, emotional, or spiritual burdens. More importantly, spiritual awakening helps us realize that everyone is on their own unique journey, and there is no perfect or identical path. The understanding, love, and compassion we gain as we gradually release what no longer serves our spiritual development are invaluable. If you feel that the concepts we've shared resonate with you and may help you on your own spiritual growth journey, start by practicing small steps, gently letting go of what no longer aligns with you. Everyone grows and changes at their own pace, so give yourself the time and space to experience this transformation. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue following more helpful content on spiritual growth, raising awareness, and finding inner peace, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Please like the video to support us and share it with friends who are also on the journey of seeking peace and spiritual growth. We look forward to walking alongside you on this path of spiritual awakening. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.